everybody who talks about Donald Trump doing this or doing that once he's in the White House is living in a movie. We don't have no idea what Donald Trump's going to do. Donald Trump has no idea what he's going to do. But I think the tone that Donald Trump has set, I think let's also be honest, the tone that the Republican Party and people like Mike Pence have set vis-a-vis Israel is a very different tone than Barack Obama has set during the 8 years. Barack Obama believed, I don't think he was anti-Israel, but he believed very much in tough love, which Bill Clinton didn't believe. Bill Clinton believed in love. Barack Obama believed in tough love, that if I can only push Israelis to the right place, it's for the better good of Israel and the Middle East. And frankly, he had advisors who told him that. Jewish advisors, pro-Israeli advisors said, you got to push them. Donald Trump isn't going to take that tack. If Donald Trump one day decides that he's going to become the great negotiator and he's going to try to negotiate some deal with the Palestinians, he might go into that tough love mode. But I think the tonality, I think the messaging that's going to be coming from the Republican administration is going to be, we love you, we support you, and we want to show that we're not like Barack Obama. We're way more tolerant of anything you do.
It's going to act against those organizations like BDS?
Okay, first of all, the President of the United States is very limited in his powers as to what he can do in the campus because of free speech, because also the campus is kind of an alternative reality. So what I'm curious more is what is the Trump phenomenon? How is the Trump phenomenon going to play out vis-a-vis the BDS movement? And I see two somewhat contradictory phenomena going on. One is that since September, BDS hasn't been that strong on campus because everybody's been obsessed about the election. But with this new buzzword intersectionality, where, by the way, Jews are blocked at the intersection. Intersectionality links all kinds of forms of oppression, except anti-Semitism is not seen as a serious form of oppression. With intersectionality, with Black Lives Matter saying things like, from Ferguson to Gaza, we need freedom. The danger is that with this massive fury and fear against Donald Trump on the campuses, the left-wing forces, the BDS forces, are going to try to link their agenda, their anti-Israel BDS agenda, to the anti-Trump agenda. And that could be toxic to Jews on campus and to Israelis on campus and to the Israeli situation on campus. And it's very important that American Jews, liberal American Jews, who hate Donald Trump, stand up strong and say, I detest Donald Trump, I'm going to work as hard as I can against the Trump presidency, but I'm not going to do that at the cost of Israel. I'm not going to sacrifice Israel along the way. I'm going to hold on and teach that you can be progressive and pro-Israel, just like you can be right-wing and pro-Israel, because being pro-Israel is about being pro-democratic, pro-peace, pro-stability, and pro-America. I just came back from a week-long trip in the United States of America. And I want to write an article called How the Grinch Stole Thanksgiving, not Christmas. Because Thanksgiving used to be one of those moments where American Jews in particular loved Thanksgiving because you felt like a normal American. And you put your Judaism aside and you just felt like an American. These days, I heard all these conversations. People weren't able to put their political divisions aside and families couldn't get together. Some families chose not to meet on Thanksgiving and some families actually had people walking out from the right or from the left. American Jewish liberals who worship Hillary Clinton, who supported Hillary Clinton, who were sure that she was going to get in, must get beyond their hysteria. They must stop sitting Shiva. They must stop mourning. They must understand that a democratic process has occurred and that there's a new president in town and there has to be an acceptance of the legitimacy of that new president in the same way that there was an acceptance of the legitimacy of Barack Obama. And the fury that many Democrats had that there were some Republicans who never accepted the legitimacy of Barack Obama shouldn't lead them to now take revenge on Donald Trump. It should lead them to find what Abraham Lincoln called the better angels of their nature and show that a true Democrat, lowercase d, believer in democracy, understands that you have to give the President of the United States benefit of the doubt and his loyalty. Fight him hard on the issues that you disagree with him on, but also accept him as your leader. I think that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, first of all, they're getting old, and second of all, I think they're in such a deep depression that I don't think we're going to hear from them occasionally, but I don't think they're going to be the leader of the loyal opposition.
They're talking about Chelsea Clinton, maybe.
Maybe, I think had Hillary won, we would have been talking about, the next generation. I think now all the Clintons are going to take a little bit of a step back from politics. The pro-Israeli liberal community in America is terrified that there's going to be now a surge of settlement and that it's going to be harder and harder to be a pro-Israeli liberal. My advice to the Netanyahu government would be You cannot make settlement policy based on Barack Obama or Donald Trump. You cannot make settlement policy or a peace process policy based on who's in the Oval Office. You have to make a peace process policy and a settlement policy based on what are the needs of the state of Israel. And if you, as Bibi Netanyahu, have been saying for 8 years that we're not expanding in certain areas, we're only expanding in the core areas, then stick to that and don't start making trouble, because it will be trouble.
This is the last days in Obama administration. You're going to see any movement against Israel in the last days?
I would strongly urge Barack Obama not to take revenge, not to lash out against Israel, to understand that the UN is a poisonous swamp that's filled with anti-Semitism, not just anti-Zionism. And if he ends his 8 years saying, I'm the most pro-president Israel, the most pro-Israel president ever, and if he ends his 8 years of saying, I'm the most pro-Israel president ever, going down that swamp in the United Nations and supporting the Palestinians, I think there'll be disaster in his legacy.